My 3-year-old daughter was lying on the bed, waiting for me to bring her a drink. As I walked into my bedroom with a bread bun in my mouth and 2 mugs of coffee in my hands, out of my peripheral vision, I could see 2 small grey aliens and 1 human standing in my bedroom, watching me as I entered. Communication was happening between them telepathically. I overheard the human telling them that these are the people he had told them about, pointing to myself and my daughter. My first reaction was disgust at the thought of getting sold out by this human. I did not recognize him, not sure who he is. The next instant, I heard a voice coming from the mothership outside my home, warning them that I could see them and that I had overheard the conversation. They were visibly shocked and scrambled to get into a see-through cubicle. The 3 of them could hardly fit into the cubicle, and the cubicle shut from top to bottom. I could sense they were still there, but I could not see them. What astonished me is that I was more focused on the human, absolutely disgusted at him for selling us out and endangering our lives. What amazed me is that I was not shocked at seeing the small greys. It felt as if I knew them, I'd come across them before. What I can recall is that they had a very stern, miserable look. They had no personality, no warmth, no compassion, no mercy. They were short, had spacesuits on. The second encounter happened to me a few years later. I saw myself traveling in a cubicle, approximately 8 other women. There were many of these cubicles filled with women from all over the world traveling towards the mothership. We were standing in this cubicle while we were traveling. The cubicles were see-through and even the top was see-through. The mothership was large, like a city, and had docking stations all around it. The mood was festive, as if we were going to a party. Nobody had been abducted. Everybody was going willingly. As we were docking, I recognized the mother from my daughter's school, who had recently relocated from Australia to South Africa. I remember thinking that I'd been doing this for many years and have never recognized someone before. One by one, we entered the mothership and had to walk down a passage. I stopped briefly under some sort of overhead scanner, got scanned, and then continued. The scanner wipes your memory so that you don't recall what is happening inside the ship. In my opinion, the reason why I recalled this experience was the shock of recognizing someone. My third encounter. I was attending a church group on a regular basis. One day, the leader calls me aside and told me that the group would like me to leave. They don't like my energy or my input. I was distraught, cried all the way home. While I was driving home, I had a conversation with God and ask God to reveal to me, why does this keep happening to me? Why do people push me out of companies, groups, circle of friends, or in this case, the church? This was not the first time this has happened to me. That night, I dreamt that one of the couples from church were renting a cottage on my farm for the weekend. I was walking up towards them. They did not see me approaching. As I was approaching, I was in shock as I witnessed them shape-shifting into lizards. The fourth alien encounter is the most interesting. I was watching a question and answer session from Valnek on Megan Rose's channel. Valnek mentioned that the human race is not ready to meet with alien races, and it will take decades before we do. Speaking to myself, I felt angry, irritated, and annoyed. I want to meet the alien races. I want to go on a spaceship, and I am ready. I want to travel to other galaxies. If the normies aren't ready, that's their problem. I'm ready. I want to meet with them, and I'm not waiting decades. I want to remember what was happening on the spaceship I described in the second encounter. In the past few months, I've been watching the updates of the Arcturian Council, channeled by Daniel Scrotton, on their channel Above and Beyond Duality. The very next day, after having this conversation with myself, one of the Arcturians appeared in my mind. The Arcturian filled my mind, and nothing else could enter my mind. It felt a little bit like a headache. Wow, I was blown out of my mind, thinking how lucky I am to get this most advanced race making contact with me. What a blessing. This is so exciting. Greed overcame me with the many possibilities that could lead from this encounter. So I told him, okay, start with the download. What would you like to share with me? And then I hesitated. But before you start, let me just check if you are a good spirit. So I said to him, if you have any demonic energy attached to you, you want to deceive me or you want to harm me, in the name of God, I command that you leave. The next second, he withdraws from me like a bullet, left me feeling very disappointed. I did want to make contact. In conclusion, it's very important to test a spirit, even an alien spirit. It's very easy to get deceived. I must admit I was shocked and disappointed. Did not expect this outcome. This is not an attack on anybody. I am sharing my personal experience. Thank you for listening.